Okay, so today we are going to do Joy Division and Passover. This was requested by somebody, as they said this was one of their favorite songs, I think. And I haven't done Joy Division in a while, and I haven't really listened to many songs from Closer, which I think is how you pronounce this album. I do not think it's Closer. I'm pretty sure it was Closer, is how they wanted it to be pronounced. So anyway, yeah, we're going to get into this and talk about it after. So let's go. I like that bass.
This is a crisis I knew had to come, destroying the balance I'd kept, doubting, unsettling and turning around, wondering what will come next. Is this the role that you wanted to live? I was foolish to ask for so much, without the protection and infancy's garb, it all falls apart at first touch. Watching the reel as it comes to a close, brutally taking its time. People who change for no reason at all, happening all of the time. Can I go on with this train of events, disturbing and purging my mind? Back out of my duties when all's said and done, I know that I'll lose every time. Moving along in our God-given ways, safety is sought by the fire. Sanctuary from these feverish smiles, left with a mark on the door. Is this the gift that I wanted to give? Forgive and forget's what they teach. Or pass through the deserts and wastelands once more, and watch as they drown by the beach.
like how Morris ended that one. Okay, so yeah, Passover by Joy Division. What I was thinking about the person who left a comment about this song, they did say that this one was quite sad, and I mean that's not unlike any other Joy Division songs. I mean, hello, but yeah, I mean this song. I haven't heard Ian Curtis sing like this before. It was almost like he was more like talking. And like I said, I haven't heard much of this album. I've listened to Unknown Pleasures since like I'm more of a casual Joy Division fan, I guess. But I mean, there's only 2 albums really, or 3 or something like that. So there's not much. I mean, you can go off of. But anyway, yeah, Ian Curtis. I mean, he really fascinates me. I've seen a couple, documentaries, whatever, about his life, and yeah, it's just like I never get over how, I guess his demise and like how he died and what was going on before he died with how Joy Division was going to do a big tour and everything. But anyway, yeah, this song was something else. A lot of, I guess, depressing lyrics, I guess you could say. And his voice really kind of reminded me of like Johnny Cash. I mean, his obviously really deep monotone voice, but some parts there just remind me of The Man in Black. And yeah, I liked his delivery as well. He really was showing like I guess the sadness or something. You could really hear the sadness in his voice, which is easy to say after we know how he died like 40 years ago now. But anyway, so yeah, I'm on Genius.com about the song here, and all it says is Passover implies that the band is every bit aware of its morbid power. And that's basically all it says for the about. And I am on Wikipedia.com, but there's not much about the song, as the song was not like a single. But all it says is the songs on Closer here were the later songs on this album, like Passover, were written during the latter half of 1979. So yeah, I mean, these were written in the later part of 1979. So basically, that's all I got from that. But anyway, I want to look at also the credits and the people on this track. So the guitar and synthesizer, which I liked, was Bernard Sumner, obviously, and guitar also. It says Ian Curtis, lead vocals Ian Curtis, and then it goes on bass guitar Peter Hook, and of course Peter Hook shines on this one as well. I said during the song that I liked his part there. And then Stephen Morris on drums. I think it's Stephen. I don't think it's Stephen or something like that. But and then the writers were just each member of the band. But yeah, a lot of sadness coming through on this track. So anyway, I'm gonna look through some annotations with the first verse. This is a crisis I knew I had to come. He was determined to end his life. But then the crisis came, which made him doubt. It's like a discussion between the two parts of his personality, the determined one and the hesitating one. And then there is also other comments to this. Oh, you have to sign in to see the other comments. Well, my goodness. But also, I mean, I don't know if that's true, if he was talking about he wanted to kill himself or not. But it's easy to say now since he did kill himself. And then we have the next part, destroying the balance I kept, doubting, unsettling, and turning around, wondering what will come next. Is this the role that you want to live? I was too foolish to ask for so much. Without the protection and infancy's guard, it all falls apart at first touch. So I mean, the whole thing, it all falls apart. I mean, it's just, yeah, there's not really any, I guess, optimism really in the song. He was determined to win his life again. So it goes on. It's like a discussion between two parts, so it's basically the same annotation, but it says the first one asks, is this the role that you wanted to live? And the second one replies, can I go on with this train of events? And it says, we know which one. Even if we didn't know anything about how he died, it would be obvious from the way the song ends. Pain, guilt, and death are the wastelands he has to cross before he could finally feel free to go through with the next set of lives. When you're a child, you have a false vision of the world. You live in a bubble, we're all living in bubbles now, and your parents always protect you. When you grow up, we realize life is actually way more effed up than we knew it. It all falls apart at first touch, and that's very true. Yeah, especially nowadays in 2020. Watching the reel as it comes to a close, brutally taking its time, people who change for no reason at all, it's happening all of the time. As the reel of the movies goes on, We watch things grow. The world, specifically people, will never stay the same their entire life, and that change can be hard to adjust to, so much so that you can become disillusioned, just as Ian was with his wife, which I've heard about as well. Him and his wife had a kind of, bad marriage at the end of it, basically. And then we go on with the next part. Can I go on with this train of events, disturbing and purging my mind? Like these words, yeah, like disturbing, purging. My goodness, back out of my duties when it's all said and done. I know that I'll lose every time. It's a very ambiguous song. It could have both positive and negative meanings. Okay. Said he could be talking about going through some sort of catharsis before he changes his life for the better, but the Passover he's talking about is indeed death. He's reluctant about whether he should go on with it, and as he knows he has duties, a wife and a child, and also a band. To kill himself would be liberating, but it would also mean he'd be backing out. To stay would only bring him more suffering, so either way he loses. My gosh, this really does pack a punch here. And then we have this third verse, moving along in our God-given ways. Safety is sat by the fire. This is the part that reminded me of Johnny Cash. I don't know if it was the word fire or God, as Johnny Cash really liked those subjects. But anyway, sanctuary from these feverish smiles, left with a mark on the door. These lines perfectly describe society, especially modern society. This is not about being a rebel. This is about always taking the line of least resistance. People trust religion and authority 100% because it is easier. They don't have time or energy, my goodness, or will to deal with such questions. And left with a mark on the door is a biblical reference where God told Jews to mark the doors they had passed, so he will pass them over when he unleashes a great plague on Egyptians. Of course, no one hesitated, and many lambs were killed. So yeah, some biblical stuff there. And then we have or pass through the deserts and wastelands once more, and watch as they drown by the beach. So again, drown. I mean, lots of kind of just, I don't know, is language, spooky language, as George Carlin would say. And then the fourth verse, this is the crisis I knew I had to come, destroying the balance I'd kept, turning around the next set of lives, wondering what will come next. And death, basically. Yeah, and that's what the annotation says as well. What will come next? That is a bit eerie. I'm wondering what will come next, and that's how the song ends. And obviously he passed, and my gosh. I want to just see closer. When did this album come out, actually? Released July 18th, 1980. It was recorded March 1980. And just such a... it's a way to go out. My goodness, Ian Curtis really left it all on the table. And I can't remember when he passed. It was 1980, obviously. It was either June. It was May 18th, 1980. So yeah, my goodness. This was released after his death, so that's something else as well, I just learned. But anyway, sad song, obviously. And really cutting song as well. And really makes you think. So anyway, and I like music that makes you think. So anyway, I guess that's about it. Thanks for the request. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting. Finally got another Joy Division song in there that I have not heard, which is nice. And so I'll talk to you guys again soon. Thank you so much for the support. And, have a great one and stay safe and all that kind of stuff.